Is it really impossible to resist temptation in a workplace? Hello, and welcome back to the story. Today we will be making a recap on a 2002 movie titled The Good Girl. Warning, there will be some spoilers ahead, so watch at your own risk and enjoy. The story begins with Justine, a 30-year-old woman who is depressed and unfulfilled with her life. She is married to Phil, a sweet but dull husband who spends his time drinking with his best friend Bubba after work. Justine is bored with her job in a retail store. The security guard, Corny, invites her to a Bible study, but she declines. One day, she notices the newly hired named Holden, who looks young and introverted. Justine introduces herself to him, and she finds out that he likes reading and writing stories. They later spend lunch together where Justine tells him how she hates her job, and Holden says he feels the same. Justine later rides him home, and both of them get inside his room. She reveals that she has been married for 7 years, but she hates her husband because he is insensitive and stupid. Justine notices that Holden hates the world, and says she feels the same way too. Justine narrates that after being sad for a long period of time, she finally starts to feel excited with her life now that Holden is there. They spend lunch together and talk regularly at work. One night, Phil and Bubba look stoned and the two teases Justine. She says that smoking lowers the sperm, and her husband must have become infertile because of it. The two are speechless and she leaves. One morning at the store, Holden asks Justine if she can give him a ride home, and she says yes. Her co-worker, Gwen, notices their closeness, and Justine says they are just friends. At the car, Justine says how she imagined having a different life, job, and husband. Holden touches her leg and tries to kiss her, but she stops him and says she has a husband. Holden is upset and leaves. That night, Phil says he wants to consult an expert and confirm if he is really infertile. Justine says she doesn't need a baby and if he really wants to be useful, he should just fix the TV. She gets mad and then goes to sleep. That morning, Holden is absent from work and Justine looks upset. Corny hands her a letter from Holden. He says that he was very much hurt when Justine rejected him. He says that if she still wants him, she will meet him after work at 5 p.m. And if Justine's not there, she will not see him again in her lifetime. Justine is anxiously looking at the time when Gwen suddenly runs to the toilet to throw up. The manager asks Justine to take her to the hospital. While driving, Justine looks troubled because it is just a few minutes before 5 p.m. At the hospital, Justine tells Gwen to get inside, and she will just meet her after she parks the car. Justine sees that the time is already way past 5, so she steps on the gas and rushes to the place that Holden told her. She looks worried, and Holden startles her. They check in at a motel and in the room, they kiss and later makes love. A while later, Justine cries, saying she does not want to go. Holden tells her that they will be back in no time. Justine is later back at home, and her husband asks where have she been. She says Gwen got sick, so she took her to the hospital and sat with her. Justine then says that she will be back there tomorrow and the next day. Next morning, the manager asks Justine where she went because Gwen was looking for her. She asks how is she, and the manager says she will be staying at the hospital for a couple of days. That night, Phil fixes the TV. Meanwhile, Justine spends the evening with Holden. They frequently make out in the storage room and checks in at a motel after work. One night after checking out their room, Justine sees the truck of Bubba, her husband's best friend. She gets worried, so they hastily leave. She is worried that her husband might find out and Holden tells her he won't let Phil hurt her. Justine says he's big and he might kill him. Justine then goes to the hospital. She runs into Corny who tells her that Gwen just passed away, and Justine couldn't believe it. At home, she tells her husband about Gwen. She asks her husband what time Bubba brought him home, and he says he is home early because Bubba had a date. The next day, the manager announces the passing of Gwen and tells everyone that they can have a day off. Justine and Holden then spend the day together in a lake and making love in the car. Justine arrives home and Bubba tells her sorry that her friend died. He says it is good thing that Justine is with her when she passed away, implying that he might know something. At the store, Holden asks Justine if she needs help getting stuff in the storage. She declines, and when he asks if she can ride him home, she says she can't. At lunch, Justine tells Holden that she feels nervous and guilty so they can't go to the motel for now. He gets mad and Justine tells him to be patient. Justine later asks Corny if she and her husband can join their Bible study, and he says they would love to have them. Justine arrives home and sees her husband and Bubba looking stoned. She tells Phil that they will be late for the Bible study, so he hurries up to change. Bubba tells her that he saw her, and if she wants to talk about it, she must come to his house after work. At the church, Justine sees that the owner of the motel will also be attending. She tells her husband to get back in the car, because she no longer wants to go to the Bible study. Phil is confused and asks why. She gets mad and says she just doesn't want to. The next day, Justine tells Holden she could not come with him to the motel, because there is something important that she needs to do. Holden gets mad and Justine walks out. She later comes to him and says she will see him tomorrow. Holden wishes her good luck on the important thing she will be doing. Justine arrives at Bubba's house, and he takes her inside. Bubba says that he found her get inside a motel with another man. He threatens that he will tell Phil if she does not sleep with him. Justine has no choice, so she gives in. When they are done, she sees Holden outside the window. Justine freaks out and hastily leaves. The next day, the manager asks Justine where is Holden, because he did not show up at work, and she says she doesn't know. When she rides the car, she is startled to see Holden already inside. He is drunk and is crying hard. He calls Justine a hooker, and she says she only did it because Bubba will tell her husband. Holden offers to kill her husband so she won't leave him, and Justine promises him she will not leave. Holden says that if they plan to run away, he needs to find a way to get money. While Holden is at the store, Justine goes to his house and tells his parents that he is mentally ill. He imagines that they are having an affair and he is making threats, so she suggests that he should be hospitalized. After not feeling well the whole day, Justine takes a pregnancy test. Her husband catches her, and he stays to wait for the result. A while later, they confirm that Justine is really pregnant, and Phil is so happy. Phil says going to the sperm doctor was just a waste of time. He plans to have a celebration for the good news, but Justine doesn't look excited. Meanwhile, Holden picks up a call from the psychiatric hospital, and he finds out what his parents are planning. The next day, police officers arrive in the store. The manager calls Justine and tells her that Holden stole $15,000 from the safe. He asks if she has something to do with it, and Justine denies it. Corny reveals that he has seen her in the storeroom with Holden on many occasions. Justine is firm that she does not know anything. On her way to the car, Holden calls her. Holden is proud of what he has done. He says he now has the money, and they can now run away. Justine tells Holden that she is pregnant, and he says that it must be his. He tells her that she can't raise the baby here, so they must go away. Justine says she can't go tonight because she has to pack and get more money. Holden then says he will go to the motel and wait for her tomorrow. Justine affirms. She later arrives home where Phil, Bubba and his girlfriend are celebrating. Phil receives a call from the doctor, who says that the result of his fertility test was negative. He says that they must have gotten it wrong because his wife is pregnant. He gets mad and hangs up the phone. They are in an awkward silence and Bubba tells Phil that the doctors must just have messed it up. Next morning, Justine packs up her clothes and leaves. At the stop, she thinks over whether to stay or run away with Holden. If she stays, she will be back on her depressing routine at the store, with her co-workers gossiping about her affair, and a secret that she has a burden to keep. If she runs away, she imagines a beautiful never-ending journey with Holden. Justine has made her decision. She goes to the store and tells the manager where Holden is hiding. When she arrives home, the news flashes about the incident at the motel, where Holden shot himself when the police tried to arrest him. One day, Bubba tells Justine that Phil has opened the bill from the credit card company, and finds out that she checked in a motel. Bubba cries, begging her not to tell his best friend about their one-time affair. When Justine arrives home, Phil confronts her and asks if she has been sleeping around behind his back. She says yes and Phil hits her. He asks if it is his baby and she assures him that it is his. Phil asks if it is Corny who she cheated with, and Justine just says yes. He then apologizes for hitting her. Justine says sorry too, and the couple reconciles. The next day, Justine sees that Corny has bruises and a broken arm. Cheryl says that two guys with painted faces pulled up in a truck and beat Corny up last night. The movie ends with Justine staring blankly while lying in bed. Phil later brings in the baby and the couple looks happy and contented. Did you like our movie recap? Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. To be updated for new movie recaps, hit the notification bell.